everyone. We are happy to introduce you to our new podcast format, which we call RiskRadar, where me, Ece Karel, and our CEO, Boris Agranovich, will be co-hosting sessions regarding the trends in risk management and related fields for our audience to definitely keep an eye on the upcoming short and medium terms. So, Boris, as you know, last month we have focused greatly on the topic of AI on our newsletter and on a lot of our other podcast episodes. So, as such, I think that it is only fitting that today we talk further about this.
Yeah. First of all, thank you, Ece, for introduction of this new format. And just my few words. We have been doing this podcast, risk management show, for more than 2 years now, and we had about 200 episodes with more main formats, risk chat, which is what Ece does, and the risk management show, another format with a kind of a longer part of the podcast. So each of these episodes formats has already more than 100 episodes. And we are very happy that our audience is continuously growing. And so we decided to create a new format, which will be probably once per month, where we analyze major trends in our community of global risk community. And we kind of making and analyzing and trying to propagate to our audience what is going on specific topics. So in today's topic, we are talking about AI and ML, because recently we have been recording a lot of podcasts on this topic and a lot of actually happening in the world. So let's try concentrate on this topic today. So you asked what are some of the latest trends in AI, right?
Yes, indeed. So I think, AI is a topic that not only for risk management or other fields, but in general, like the whole world with ChatGPT and other AI technologies has been really trending in general. It has been really on the corner of people's minds. So yeah, what do you think will be some latest trends in AI? How do you think it will be impacting different industries?
Yeah, sure. Of course, AI, artificial intelligence, has become an integral part of our daily lives, empowering everything from virtual assistants to autonomous cars and due diligence, credit ratings, and so on. So in recent years, specifically, AI automation has gained widespread attention for its potential to revolutionize industries, increase efficiency, and reduce costs. And one of the most popular AI language models, ChatGPT, which was just introduced about 6 months ago, became a forefront of this technological advancement. So now even companies such as Bing, Microsoft, and Google try to ride on this trend. And of course, it has a lot of applications for creative professionals, more specifically content creators, designers, and also for risk managers and compliance professionals, and specifically with the ability to digest vast amounts of unstructured data and narrow down results. Screening tools and workflow tools powered by AI are transforming the way our business and companies approach risk management and compliance for our specific professions. And these tools can quickly sift through a vast amounts of data, identify potential risks, and flag any issues for further investigation. So this is not only saves time and resources, but also helps to ensure that compliance team are able to identify potential issues before they become a kind of major problem.
Yeah, indeed, I completely agree. Also, like as you said, like AI kind of existed for a long time, but it wasn't as thought of as this much. But in the last 6 months, especially, that we really see a raise on it. And with that, like we already saw it evolve so much that it is already impacting industries. And how do you think that it will be evolving further? Let's say in the next 5 years, what do you think or what do you anticipate regarding that? Because I mean, if it went this much in 6 months, like how much do you think it can go further?
Yeah, it's difficult to predict, but overall, the field of AI is constantly evolving, and it's difficult to predict exactly what's development will occur. But I will think that the following major topics will be in front of our eyes in the coming 5 years. For example, NLP, or network language, natural language processing, computer vision, explainability, integration with other technologies, and autonomous systems. So, for example, if we don't dive to a specific system, but maybe discuss advancement in NLP, which is natural language processing, because all these AI models like ChatGPT have made significant strides in understanding and generating the human-like language. So I anticipate that further advancement in this area leading to better language model that can understand and respond to more complex queries and generate kind of on-demand kind of probably virtual assistant for people like us, entrepreneurs, and maybe for CEOs, and for people like further was kind of Google virtual assistant, but now it will be another virtual assistant. Also, we can see that integration with other technologies. For example, AI is increasingly being integrated with tools like working in IoT, blockchain, and cloud computing. This trend is likely to continue, with AI being used in new and innovative ways to improve efficiency. For example, autonomous system, I would say that, of course, we see a lot of future films like robots fighting wars, but we see that self-driving cars and drones are already becoming more prevalent. So I think over the next 5 years, I anticipate the development even more sophisticated. This system will catch our eyes and will be kind of our daily life.
Yeah, I completely agree. It's kind of exciting also to see, because it is becoming more and more human, but at the same time, that can also bring its own, risks or problems, or with all these integrations, it can do so as well. But in general, I see that it will be definitely part of the future, with also Web 3.0 coming, for example. I think that we will be integrating AI to our lives more than it already is. But I am actually wondering, because we talked a lot about its potential use cases, how useful it can be, but what can be its potential problems and, maybe some risks that it comes with? I mean, we are talking about risk management in general, so we always need to think about the risk it comes with too. And do you think that we have some appropriate measures in place already to mitigate those risks, or what would be some measures that needs to be in place?
Yeah, of course, there will be issues, and now even all these leaders in the space, they like Elon Musk, they say that we will need to kind of restrict AI. But yeah, I think we see different various issues, like just bias and discriminations. We see some AI algorithms can replicate and even amplify existing social biases, specifically in credit rating and kind of social profiling, and even some countries doing some specific program, which is very kind of can profile people based on their behavior. We can face with job displacement. So in the past, we mostly have people in labor skills, manufacturing, where kind of job cutting jobs problem have. But now people in specific like brain working people, like consultants, like programmers, like designers. They could kind of face problems with job displacement, because the AI could automate various jobs and eliminate certain roles. So we can also face economic problems. Of course, there is security and privacy concerns, because all these AI technologies collect and process a huge amount of data, and there is a risk of sensitive information being compromised or misused. And of course, autonomous weapons, as I said before, because it can be wars before even before people can start even shooting themselves. These robots will start shooting all the people. So it can cause significant threat to international security and human safety. So yeah, of course, there is a lack of transparency and accountability, because we see that some systems like black box, we don't know what inside, or some people see garbage in, garbage out, or how they were trained. We receive the same results. And of course, we can face unintended consequences, because the systems can behave not in the way we think. For instance, a AI-powered chatbot developed by big company had to be shut down after it started spouting racist and offensive language. I don't want to name the company, but it was kind of very famous. So this is kind of my big issues facing here.
Yeah, interesting points you have actually mentioned. Like for me, when I think of AI, and it's immediate more on the day-to-day basis or like work basis, the things that come to my mind the most are when it comes to decision-making processes. Because for now, of course, we as humans are the decision makers, but in the future, a lot of job titles might, use AI more often to make decisions, which of course at its current state is very biased and also is sometimes misinformed. So that I think will be a big problem. But at the same time, because this is a thing, I think that a lot of companies will not dehumanize the work environment entirely, especially with, creative workers or, more decision or higher positions. I think that humans will be definitely using AI. I think it will make them also be more accurate, but I don't think that in any case we should let AI decide. But with that, I think that AI should be more of a tool that we should be using. So following up from, this tool aspect of AI, because it can be really beneficial if you don't fully rely on it, but, maybe use it for efficiency. How do you think AI and also actually machine learning can be effectively applied to everyday like risk management problems? Maybe what would be some strengths or some weaknesses it can bring?
Yeah, I think major kind of categories would be fraud detection, that what we see already, cybersecurity, predictive maintenance, risk modeling, and natural disaster risk assessment. So, for example, in fraud detection, AI algorithms can analyze a large amount of data to detect anomalies and patterns that suggest fraudulent activities such as credit card fraud, insurance fraud, or financial fraud. In cybersecurity, machine learning algorithms can analyze network traffic and detect unusual patterns that indicate a security or cyber attack or security breach. And for example, predictive maintenance, AI algorithms can monitor equipment and the machinery in real time and predict when maintenance is required, reducing downtime and maintenance costs. And for example, risk modeling, we had a few interviews with leading software companies like SaaS about this. AI can help organizations to build a predictive model that can identify risks and vulnerabilities in their business processes and supply chains or other areas. And of course, the strengths of AI and machine learning in all these areas include improved accuracy, speed, scalability. We can see predictive capabilities, but however, there are some risks, of course. Of course, we discussed bias. All AI algorithms can be biased. So if they are trained on biased data, or if there is a lack of diversity in the data used to train them, so it's of course a problem. Of course, the lack of transparency we discussed, and of course, people, most important is over-reliance. When the people kind of rely that AI will do everything, that it might will have problem in decision making. And of course, costs, because it requires significant investment in infrastructure, data storage, and skilled professionals. So this is mostly what I think are issues. Of course, regulation is important because we don't have a kind of wide regulation right now. Maybe it's in the future. And I heard from one of the interview that European integration will take place this year, but let's see what happens.
Yeah, indeed. And I want to follow up with one last question, because we've, of course, mentioned ChatGPT a lot. I think when now people think of AI, a lot of people do think about ChatGPT as well. So, and we also know, of course, outside of ChatGPT, there are many other AI algorithms. A lot of companies are also producing their own AI for maybe for risk management, but also for other things, like more niche things. But just to like maybe get an idea of, like, for people, of course, everybody I think at this point heard ChatGPT, but what exactly it is, and do you think it can also be used specifically for risk management, especially like maybe for customer due diligence, or maybe like for things like third-party risk management, and what do you think about this topic in general?
Yeah, we discussed this with our guest from Dow Jones, Letitia Hoffman, and they are using ChatGPT for compliance. But for those who don't know, probably 10% of people, maybe less in the world, ChatGPT is a generative AI chatbot that has rapidly gained popularity in recent months. In short, it is highly sophisticated natural language processing tool that can ingest text and pictures and generate easily digestible, human-readable output. In fact, it's very good in summarization, and its ability to analyze and synthesize vast amount of data, making it an increasingly powerful tool for a range of industry. And whether it's conducting due diligence investigations or analyzing market trends, ChatGPT can quickly sift through large amount of data, identify patterns and insights, and present them in a very easy and digestible way. So even now we have already, for 6 months, we have already second version, I think the GPT-4, and it takes this technology even further, allowing the tool to ingest both text and pictures and generate even more sophisticated output. So with the ability to analyze both visual and textual data. So for risk managers, yeah, as mentioned by our guest, it's used in due diligence in processes, and we see it increasingly used in compliance space. I think in the future, maybe not specifically to like ChatGPT, but they will create a specific kind of bot for due diligence or whatever technology they require. I think it's very useful for people working in this area, specifically now when the costs of compliance are very high. So people now, I know that in some banks, compliance people comprise more people than in departments that generate revenue. So maybe it will help to reduce kind of workload for people. This is, I think, my main thought.
Interesting to think about, I think. And of course, what I want to add is that right now, I think a lot of people are on board with, AI because it's also been such a hot topic. But at the same time, a lot of people might consider, going with AI or to reduce a lot of the processes. But at the same time, I think people should be not jumping into the waters fully, but more test the waters is what I think. But with that being said, I don't have any more questions that I wanted to ask for today. So I'm wondering if you have anything else to add.
No, I think it's good for our first episode, and let's see how our community and our listeners react to this. So we will continue with such episodes in the future, or maybe if they have some ideas for future episodes or different formats, we are happy to hear.
Yeah, indeed. I actually really enjoyed our conversation. So I hope that our audience also finds it insightful, but also fun. And also it evokes some, thoughts, maybe to look more further into the AI or any other topic we might talk in the future. So with that, thank you so much, Boris, for joining me today. And I'm excited to see where RiskRadar evolves and goes to.
Yes, thank you very much for organizing this.